I have just made it to my hotel, which is the one and only. And if you know or if you've been on this channel before, that might sound familiar, and that is because this is the same resort group that I stayed at when I went to Montenegro. So I'm excited to be back and to see a little bit of what this location has to offer. It's very late. My flight landed at like 8 p.m. and it is now 11. I'm gonna eat something, you know, small, so just some light bites, and then get ready for bed. It's gonna be dinner, it's gonna be light bites, it's gonna be relaxation, and then tomorrow we relax some more on the beach. I slept like it was no man's business last night, and I feel like you could probably even still hear it in my voice. My, I'm tired. Jet lag got me. Luckily, my resort has a private beach, and so the vibe today is to go lay on it. Also, I'm gonna preface this trip by saying the following. I know you guys are used to a certain level of quality from me, or getting used to it. I'm also getting used to a certain level of quality from me in terms of storytelling and vlogging. However, I also know Dubai is a very interesting place when it comes to rules and laws and what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. And I know that those rules and laws are very precarious for people who are not used to such a way of life. I don't know what the laws are around like filming in public and things like that, but I do, and I probably will research that while I'm on the beach, but I do know that filming people, like people other than yourself, and like getting people in the back of your videos is not really the vibe. So my guess is they have some laws related to that. All I'm trying to say is I'm not trying to get in trouble on this trip. So if things look a little or if this vlog is a little voiceover-y instead of like, you know, whatever, I'm trying to do, especially when I'm solo, as little as possible to bring attention to myself. So we might be doing a lot of switching between this camera and my DJI, and so you'll notice that quality change. We might be doing a lot of like, not a lot of talking outside and a lot of just like showing you what I did. I'm just trying to be safe on this trip and make sure I get home without anyone trying to stop me for doing something that I didn't know that I was doing wrong. So yeah, anyways, let's go to the beach. Yeah, so as suspected, he like saw my camera in my bag. First of all, that whole interaction was just very interesting. He like saw my camera in my bag and was like, is that a DSLR? And I was like, no, because I don't think my vlogging camera actually is, but like technicalities, formalities. And he was like, okay, well, we have like, you know, rules about, you know, you need a permit and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, it's just an expensive camera that I prefer to keep on me. I don't want to leave it in my room. So that's why I have it. So yeah, I'm pulling out the DJI. And I looked up the rules, and like, apparently for professional purposes, you need a permit. But on Reddit, people were like, they've gotten stopped. So it really just depends on, like, there's no way to know if it's professional or not if they see you with a DSLR, so it's just safe to like use smaller cameras. So this is about to be a DJI trip, and I'm all right with that. The whole afternoon on my sunset cruise, I enjoyed the scenery, but there was a huge part of me left feeling like these buildings are beautiful, but it feels like there's something missing. And it feels like there's something missing in this city that I can't quite put my finger on. So, quick update. What did I do yesterday? I chilled on the beach at the resort, which I desperately needed because I was so tired and jet lagged. And I also did a little sunset cruise at the end of the day, and then came back to my hotel resort to have dinner. We'll start at the sunset cruise. It was cool. I did that cruise or ride or whatever you want to call it on the first night, because I wanted to like at least give myself the opportunity to meet people. Pro tip, if you're traveling solo, doing something that's like group or public or something like that early in the trip might lead to you like meeting people and then vibing for the rest of the trip. I didn't really come into this trip wanting to meet other people, so it wasn't like imperative for me, but you know, I'm glad I got off the resort on the first day because I don't think I would have done that otherwise. Everybody on my particular tour or cruise was like either a parent or a child. So it very much so gave family, it very much so gave like, you know, I was not interacting with anyone else and they were not interacting with me because they were there on a family trip, and that's okay. But like, I would rate that experience like maybe a 6 out of 10 if we're being honest, just because like personally I'm not someone who is into sightseeing, and I think this trip has solidified that for me. I think a lot of what there is to do in Dubai from a tourist perspective is sightseeing, and I'm more of an experiential type of person. So I would categorize sightseeing as like going to a museum, going to see a landmark, going to the top of the Burj Khalifa, like going to see the Dubai Ferris wheel and the marine, like just seeing things and like being and like taking it in and maybe taking pictures. I do like taking pictures, but like I like taking pictures of certain experiences, and I would categorize experiences as like the doing. So like the cooking class, the horseback riding, the ATV, the camel rides, the like, you know, doing of it all. And I love that I've learned that about me because now I can cater the rest of my experiences, both on this trip and beyond, on future trips, to that understanding and to that realization. I have thoughts about this hotel. I've stayed at this hotel before. I've mentioned that I've stayed at the one and only before. I might have to run a blow dryer through my hair just to like zhuzh it up a bit because I was low-key sweating in my sleep last night. I don't know why. I think that's a sign that I'm like a little, I don't know how. Well, I also had the AC off, so there's that. I loved my stay at the one and only in Montenegro. This one, I don't think it's my favorite. I think I had always, I'm used to the reality that a lot of the hotels that I stay at, which are the hotels that I like, are pretty nice. And for that reason, like oftentimes, especially in other countries, there may not be that many other Black people there. Sometimes I'm okay with that, but I think on this trip, I'm like, like, and I think that's because on this trip, it's not just like me being one of the only Black people there. It's also me being one of the few young people here. And I don't know if you know, but like Dubai has some like, you know, interesting dynamics when it comes to women being by themselves at nice places. Like sometimes people might assume that you are offering your body for services. No one has made that assumption for me here, but like I'm cognizant of it, I'm aware of it. And like I was very comfortable when I was by myself in Montenegro. Been very comfortable. Well, not very comfortable. No, maybe it was fine, but like I could tell that people were like, what's going on here? And I think Dubai, there are enough Black people to where like me being at a resort with no other Black people it's an experience that you could avoid. There are enough Black people here, both residents of Dubai and tourists of Dubai, for me to not be the only Black person at a resort. So I think I just like in pursuit of wanting to have a certain type of experience, like deprived myself of another type of experience, which I hate that it has to be that way, but I kind of had a feeling because when I was looking up the one and only, the Palm on TikTok, or like when I was looking up hotels in general on TikTok, Not that much was coming up about the one and only The Palm, except that it was like really, really nice. But there weren't like reviews that people had provided. And now I'm like, the reason there probably weren't reviews was because like the clientele here is older and they're not posting like their business on TikTok. Like, oh, and then I need to tell you about the experience that I had when I got to the beach yesterday. Yeah, so I get to the beach from my room and I'm looking for a day bed, and I didn't realize like that there were so many people staying at the resort that it would be hard to find a day bed. If I had known that, like I would have actually put some pep in my step and gotten up early. But I'm looking for a day bed, and I find one that like looks empty. So I was like, you know what? Like I had tried to talk to one of the guys who was servicing another guest, like taking his drink order, and he was occupied. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna like prepare to sit on this day bed. And as I'm doing that, he like comes over to me and he's like, sorry, this day bed is occupied. Like all of the day beds at the resort, I mean, all of the day beds are fully occupied. The beach is fully occupied. And I was like, oh, okay. And he was like, do you have a day pass? Which I think was an interesting choice of question to ask, because I was holding the bag that the resort gives to guests like in their room that you can use while you're staying at the resort. And, you know, maybe he didn't see it, but I think it's one of those things that you could see. And I was like, no, I'm a guest at the hotel. Like I'm staying here. And he was like, oh, okay, give me one moment. Right? Like, so there's something to be said about the fact that like the first assumption, because that question wasn't just like a question, it was an assumption, was the first assumption was that I had a day pass and that I wasn't staying there. And again, it could be because they don't often see Black women at this resort, whatever, young Black women at that. But then once I say that I am a guest at the resort, that changes the tune. And now it's like, oh, let me see what's happening. And then, so I walk off and I'm like just standing out in the open on the beach. And a white woman, to be fair, a white woman from the UK, based on her accent, comes to me and she's like, did he just tell you that bed is occupied? And I was like, yeah. She was like, no one has been on that day bed all morning. Like no one has been on that day bed all morning. If I were you, I would just go take it, because I think they're trying to keep everyone happy and it's not working. She was like, yeah, if I were you, she was like, that's actually insane. And if I were you, I would go take that day bed. And I appreciated her. And that also just rubbed me the wrong way, because I'm just like, what's really going on here? Anyways, I went and I like sat on the day bed and basically was like preparing to treat it as if it was mine now. And then that's when he comes over and he's like, okay, let me go set you up over there, blah, blah, blah. Like, and he sets me up and there's like a cabana that's available. But I said I wanted to be in the sun because, you know, I love a good tan. I said I wanted to be in the sun. Let me zip my dress up. And he got me all set up and told me the rules. Like, no drinks. I mean, the beach can only do drinks. We don't serve food. He's giving me an orientation. And then he sees this camera that I'm filming with and my Fujifilm camera. He sees it in my bag and he's like, just a quick question, like, is that a DSLR? I said no, because like, I don't think this camera actually is a DSLR. But my Fujifilm definitely isn't a DSLR. So I was like, nope. And he was like, okay, well, like, I just asked because, you know, you can't really take, you need like a special permit and da-da-da-da. And remember I had spoken about that. Like I said, like, I don't think I'm going to be able to film in public here. That was an example. So I immediately knew, but I just like brushed it off and played it off and was like, no, like I keep this on me in my bag because it's a very expensive camera that I don't feel comfortable leaving in my hotel room, which is true. It is an expensive camera, and the like it can't be replaced because my SD card is in it, and if I lose that footage, there's no replacing it. So in that way, it is kind of irreplaceable. But again, like going from the beach is fully occupied to, oh, you're staying, like when I was a day pass guest, the beach was fully occupied. And then when I was a guest of the resort, like, oh, come, like, this is available. And it's just interesting because if I had been a day pass guest, I still would have had every right to have space on the beach because I would have paid to be there still. Like, the point is still, like, I have paid to be there. So if you're telling me, like, as a day pass guest, like, maybe as a day pass guest, like, they would have been like, go to the pool because the beach is not available. But I still feel like if you're having people pay for access to a space for the day, like, they should have access to the space for the day. Anyways, when we left the bed that I had initially been on, hold on, let me get my watch. When we left the bed that I had been on, I had asked him like, oh, like, has someone been there? Like, is this one reserved? Like, just to really clarify, because again, old girl told me no one has been there all day. And he was like, yeah, like those 3 ones, they're together and blah, blah, blah. And like, again, it didn't really make sense to me because it seemed like they maybe had reserved, I don't know what it was, but I was just like, okay, like whatever, sure. I didn't realize that day beds were a thing that you reserved, like maybe the cabanas, but the day beds didn't really have reserved signs on them. Whatever, that was fine, but that left a bad taste in my mouth. Experiences like that as a Black woman traveler just make you like, second guess certain things and be like, what's really going on here? Like, and now you start overanalyzing everything. And I wasn't overanalyzing everything from there, but it just made me hyper aware of like the space I was in. I leave this hotel today and I'm very excited. This trip is really just like a shopping and chill and like, you know, be a pretty girl type trip. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm gonna head out and get ready to go to the Golden Diamond Park. I'm no longer bringing this big old camera with me when I go out. I'll bring my little DJI, but again, the ability to take content in the way I want, specifically in Dubai, just seems a little bit impeded because I'm not trying to get in trouble with nobody. I want to make it home safely. You feel me? It is officially time for me to go. And not gonna lie, we got a blast for real, because it's 2 p.m. and I'm getting picked up for my next excursion at 3. I need to check out here, make it over there, and then check in there. In the middle of the desert somewhere. They are back there setting up tea view something, whatever you want to call it, and I'm just gonna walk. I love nature so much. I love the earth in its most natural form, and how the earth in its most natural form can look like if you really deep it, bro, like really deep it, like the ocean and how deep it is, but it still has a floor, the mountains and how high they are, but they still have a core, bars, like the desert all exist in the same place, and just regular land and rainforest and like all of that stuff. Nah, man. much better day yesterday than my first full day in Dubai, and I realized it's because I needed some socialization. The first day that I was here, like, had that weird interaction on the beach, and then took that sunset cruise, and all of the other attendees on it were like really deep into their own stuff, which is fair. Like, nobody has to babysit me or whatever. But like, you know, sometimes just like, I've been used to the like, oh, where are you from? Like, you know, so you're here by yourself? Like, oh wow, like you should check this place out. We went to here, we really loved it. And I got none of that. Like, I got none of that from anyone. And so when I deeped it, I was like, wow, I went a whole day like not talking to anyone. And that was kind of crazy. So I think I just felt very out of place. Today, I am doing a desert safari. Last night, I did go to the Dubai Mall, and it was pretty cool. That mall is huge. My first like primary goal was to just start preliminary perfume shopping, and I did, and that was nice. Today, I also want to actually make it to the Gold Souk after I get back from this desert safari excursion that I have. But they told me that they would arrive between 8 and 8:15, and it's 7:55, so I do gotta get a move on. And I think I'm ready to go. Who's on a camel? Why is this actually a lot of fun? I love being on top of four-legged mammals. That sounded actually kind of crazy, but I love horse riding. And I like this too. This is actually kind of fun. Just an FYI, that was no more than like 3 minutes tops. Are stopping for pictures and sandboarding. Do I hold anything?
Yeah, hold the belt. Yeah. In your both hands. Both hands.
Oh, both hands.
Lean back.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay.
Any wish?
Hi. I'll be back.
Bye bye.
Y'all know I be in the gym, but that little climb back up, that was all I needed. One and done, baby, one and done. And you know where we're going now? We're going to the Gold Souk. We're going to the Gold Souk. We're going to the Gold Souk. Many hours later, and I'm finally leaving, but I think I might have a hard time getting an Uber. This is the last thing that I'm getting. As you can tell, I'm exhausted, but it is mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. Ladies and gentlemen, it is that part of life. Today is our last full day in Dubai, and I leave basically tonight. If my flight is at 2 a.m., I probably will leave here around 10 or 11 latest. Yeah, my flight is at 2. I absolutely, actually, first order of business is trying to contact Emirates to see if I can get a flight upgrade. I did premium economy for the flight back because business class was looking way too expensive, and this is why I flew Emirates, just to get the experience, but at the end of the day, I really do think like, well, I flew Emirates to get the experience and also because it was like the only direct flight. Like if I had flown Delta, I wouldn't have gotten a direct flight, and that actually matters more to me because I was on such a limited time crunch, so I wanted to reduce the risk of like being delayed and losing days or getting back to New York later than expected, because I like really have to be in New York by Saturday the 22nd because I'm attending a wedding on the 23rd. I booked premium economy. Well, yeah, but after flying Emirates, I'm just like, I really should just stick with my loyalty to Delta, because like I'd much rather sit and have to pay less for business class, first class on an airline that I frequently fly on, so that I have the points on, that I have the status on, things like that, than to like fly willy-nilly. But all I know is 14 hours is a very, like, now that I'm thinking about it and I think about the flight here, 14 hours is a long time. That is a long flight. That is sleep, wake up, and I'm still on the plane. I'm like, to the extent that there are business class seats available, I actually would like to upgrade to that. But today the vibe is beach club. Today the vibe is lay in the sun. It's like 95 degrees Fahrenheit in Dubai today, so I'm literally no makeup, just gonna go to the beach club, lounge all day, read a book, and then come back to the hotel and have dinner at the hotel, since like I'll have to essentially pack and leave shortly after. So the trip is essentially done, and I have thoughts on Dubai. I'll save them for now. But what we can do in the meantime is a little fragrance haul. So we did get a lot. We did. But to be fair, the things that I got were not only for me, but for my mom, my brother, and some friends. So let's go through it. The first store that I went to was Emirates Pride. I got this fragrance that's called Jasmine Belle Musk. I liked the way it smelled, and because it had jasmine, I was like, I could layer it with one of my current favorite fragrances, which is Jasmine Freak. Hidden Tobacco, I definitely got with one of my brothers in mind, potentially my older brother. I think I really liked the way this smelled, and I think he would like the way it smells. I had Mystery as well, I think smelled like something that one of my brothers would like to wear, so I got that. And then Master Signature, I liked the way it smelled. I thought it was fairly unisex, and I was like, I think I like this for myself. So 2 for me, 2 for you. Then I went to this place called Yaz. It says established in the UAE since 1999, so it is an Emirati brand. And I got 2 things. I got this fragrance called Nada Yaz, and I've already like put a dent in it since I've been here. And then I also got a perfume oil, and they like decant it, so there's no like label on the bottle. But this too, I'm like, ooh, yeah, I feel like this is what really makes a difference, especially because oils are so concentrated. And then we have this one, which is not an Arab perfume brand, but I believe this house is not really found in too many places. This is L'Artisan Parfumeur. Let me actually look it up. Bruh, it's available on Neiman Marcus. Well, it smells good, but I've been trying to prioritize on this trip perfumes that I could not get in the US, or that would be really hard to get in the US. And it looks like, actually, this one that I have is not on Neiman Marcus. This is Oud à la Oud. So let me see, L'Artisan. It doesn't matter at this point because I have it. Oud à la Oud. Oud à l'Oud. And this is the first oud that I've liked in a while. Like I was like, oh, I don't really like ouds. I think they're a little too strong for my liking. I like the way this smells. It's like a sweet oud. Yeah, I think this one is actually not available in too many places. The places that I'm seeing come up are like UAE places. So this might be, yeah, Bloomingdale's UAE. This might be like a UAE or Arab like type of exclusive type thing. So we're still good. And also because I really like this fragrance, I got this one for myself. And it is called Moonlight. I don't know that I love the way the bottle looks, because like I don't like bottles that are like different, but it is different. It's very sweet. It's this little like antler ears. The way I feel about this fragrance might be the way I feel when I smelled like Baccarat for the first time, which was like, dang, this. 1 second. Breakfast arrived in my room, and I used that as an opportunity to catch up on emails, call Emirates, and make sure I had everything ready for my departure later that day. So yes, as I kind of suspected would be the case, there are no available seats in business class. So it's looking like premium economy and some melatonin is what it's about to be. But I'm about to check in and at least see if I can get like an aisle seat, because I think right now I have a window seat, and that's pretty much it. Like we're flying premium economy home, and it's okay. 14 hours, we'll get through it. All right, the time is way past the reservation time that I had for the beach club. My reservation I booked for 11:30, and it is now 1:20, so we're 2 hours late. Hopefully it's not an issue, but yeah, let's go. And now the thing that's holding me back is I think I lost my headphones. I was about to leave, and I was like, wait, I want to be able to potentially edit videos. But the good news is we have Find My, and it says it's with me. So does it have a sound? Let's see. Oh, it does! Are you inside a purse? Yes, you are. Woo. Shout out to Find My, because that would have been so annoying. And I know I'm not that irresponsible. All right, now we can actually go. I'm never gonna say one bad thing about this place ever again, because people from this country have integrity. They are good people. They deserve the best in the world. Tell me why I'm packing up my things. It is 10, I got a blast. I'm packing up my things. It's 10:35. My flight is at 2:35 in the morning, and it just hit me. The bag that I had in my Louis Vuitton duffel, my Christian Dior saddle bag, the bag that was a whole thing, a whole wish list item thing. Where is it? Where is it? I don't have it. Where is it? What? My flight is at 2:35 a.m. I called one and only the Palm. I'm like, yo, did I leave my bag there? He says, I'll call you back in 5 minutes. He calls me back. Yes, we did find a black Christian Dior bag. Da-da-da-da. I said, bet, I'm on my way. Hi. Amazing. I came to Dubai with the mindset that it's a trip I should do eventually, so I might as well get it out of the way now. But in the spirit of turning a new decade, I can say that maturing is realizing that the whole point of free will and adulthood is doing solely the things that I want to do. I spent so much of my 20s trapped in this loop of putting a sense of duty over my true desires. Even if a place is popular and fun, I'm realizing that if I don't have a desire to be there, I don't have to be. I think I made the most of this trip, and overall each solo trip is an opportunity to learn something more about myself. And on this trip I learned that while Dubai is a great city for many other people, I don't think I want to be back anytime soon. And that's absolutely okay with me.